Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to F1 2020 here for my team career mode round 4 I believe for the Dutch Grand Prix here at Zandvoort. Typically a good track for me. I absolutely love this track. As you can see, we've made some massive improvements between China and Zandvoort. We've jumped AlphaTauri by a mile and we've got ourselves really into the thick of the midfield, so we should be aiming for some pretty decent points here today. I've got a good consistency running. As you can see, we've had a 5th place and 2 3rd place finishes, and I'll be aimed to keeping that going and keep finishing the top 5. As you can see, we're adding more resource points to the bank, another 1,000 there. Kimi is certainly a fantastic teammate to have, bringing in so much resource points experience to the team. It's proving very handy, and it's definitely helping us to get back on track to potentially have, I'm aiming to maybe have the 3rd or 4th best car by the end of the season. Potentially we could challenge for the drivers if we keep this consistency going, but Valtteri is being very quick at the start of the season. As we go into qualifying now to do our first lap in Q1, we get a bit of a tow from Sebastian Vettel and it's a 109.1, which is only good enough for P17 coming in the session, so we have to go out again on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. And this is pretty simple to get through. We're up by 6 tenths, so that's going to clear us well ahead of George Russell, and it's a 108.5, and that should get us at least 12 or higher. Oh, it is exactly 12. Okay, so into Q2, which is good. As you can see, moving on to the final run in qualifying 2 now, and the session has got a bit darker, so that's definitely going to help with tyre temperatures as we're going through turn 1 now. 3rd gear, I have a bit of snap of oversteer on the exit, now going into turns 3, through the car in here and then through the carousel of turn 4, absolutely lovely set of corners those two. Out with the carousel in 3rd gear, now we're just shifting up, running through the S section. I don't know what corner we're up to now, but to the top of the track now, throw it in here, 6th gear, rev the car up as high as possible, going to 7th and then shift down to 5th and then back up to 6th for this corner, short shift through 4th and then hold it in 5th as we go into this long left-hander. Tyres will be get a bit warm at this point, so we'll be losing a bit of grip in them, and now we'll go into the first DRS straight off the lap into split 2 now. We are currently a 10th up on Sebastian Vettel in P2. Hold it through 3rd gear through this 3rd to last corner, and now all about getting a good exit. 5th gear through here to minimise any loss of the back end, and now we just run up to the line, stick it to the right hand side of the track, and we're going to come across to do a 1 minute 8.3, and that is going to be our fastest lap of the weekend, because unfortunately we do not get out of qualifying 2 and we're in P13 for the start of the race, which is, I'm happy with that. At the time I was very happy with that. As you can see, the midfield is very close. This is also still quite track dependent. This Zandvoort is an interesting track in terms of setup. Usually the higher downforce setup will gain you a lot of lap time, but will leave you quite vulnerable in the race, and it will also overheat your tyres. And we do have, I believe, the worst or second worst power unit in the entire grid. Obviously, can't really be taken wholly, that, because of fuel and ERS improvements, so overtaking could be quite difficult. But let's get into the Dutch Grand Prix for round 4 of season 2.
Minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Sergio Perez, and Leclerc, Albon, Ricciardo, Ocon, and Lance Stroll, Norris, Sainz, Red, and Gasly, Magnussen, Russell, Kimi
So, gonna be hopefully doing a one stop. Honestly, I have no idea what we're doing. It's been so long since this was actually recorded, and I've just not had time to do any of YouTube that I don't know what happened. So we're gonna be in this together. It's gonna be interesting. I'm actually looking to do a two stop here, which is interesting. As I mentioned before, the softs overheat quite easily, and I am running a very high downforce setup. I believe I'm running 4.8 wings. I say high downforce. So the tyres do overheat with 4.8 wings, so I'm going to have to be very careful on them. Also with this car, the further you get into career mode, obviously the tyres are going to overheat faster due to the car being a lot quicker. But I believe we are going to go for a one stop here and go into the mediums for the end of the race, pit around lap 15. Lap 14, 15, and then go mediums to the end. We're going to overfuel the car by just over a lap and a half, and I'm just deciding here because I'm looking at it, and it's an interesting strategy. I believe I should stick with the hards. I think my thought process was seeing how the soft tyre went, but anyway, let's get ready for the race. We've got 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Very long hold on the grid there. The two McLarens in front of us, both on the hard compound tyres, so they're going to be easy pickings right off the start here. Go round the outside into turn 1, pick up a load of positions, gained 4 positions already. There's a yellow flag behind us for something, and it's a 3 wide going into turn 3 here, and we get ahead of Ocon and Albon, so up into P7 now. And next up we're going to be hunting down Charles Leclerc, trying to get past him as soon as possible. Once again, overtaking is going to be quite difficult due to the setup we are running. Also, overtaking is naturally being difficult around here. We had to defend a little bit from Albon there, going into the top of the track, because the AI like to use all their ERS on lap 1 and then have nothing. Well, luckily I'm good at ERS management, and especially a track like Zandvoort, that is going to be crucial, just because ERS is extremely hard to regenerate around here. You can only use maybe 5 to 6% a lap, and even then it's going to be difficult to regenerate with a medium, like a sort of balanced setup between downforce and straight line speed. Obviously the higher downforce you have, the less ERS you're going to regenerate during the braking zone, because you're going to be on the brakes less. And we've come to complete the first lap. Valtteri has managed to get into the lead. I believe he started on pole position. And we're still chasing down Charles Leclerc here. We're very good under brakes into turn 1, so that's going to be our main overtaking opportunity, but obviously nothing happens because Zandvoort, as you can see, cut onto lap 11 here. The pit stops are starting to come out. Jeff's telling me to go onto the hards now. We literally been stuck behind Leclerc for 12 laps, and nothing has really been able to get done about it. We're going to stay out an extra couple of laps here. See, my tyres are still under 60%. And the overheating wasn't that much of an issue, so we're going to try and stretch it and go to the mediums at the end. And as you can see on lap 16 here, we're going to go to the mediums. 20 laps on those tyres, it should be doable, and we should rejoin, I believe, behind Albon, who's just going through the final corner now. If we get a move on, we've actually managed to mess up the pit stop so much there. We lost about a second because I didn't get the car in gear properly, but we're going to come out just behind Albon. We sort of cheat a little bit there, exiting the pit lane, but yeah, that was did give me a penalty, so that's fine. And yeah, that 1 second really harmed us, because we would have come out side by side, or at least I think side by side ahead of Norris there. But anyway, on lap 18 now, we've caught up to the back of Albon, and we're now going to try and get a move on him into turn 1. We're going to go late on the brakes here. The fresh media is working with us. There's a little bit of contact as Albon turns in on us, but that gets us up into P9. So we've got to try and make our way through this traffic quickly, and then maybe we can get onto the back of, I believe it's Lewis Hamilton, is the other Mercedes, but with every lap that goes by, the hards are going to get better than the mediums. So we've got to make moves quickly, and now it's got on to lap 20. I believe we're going to go for a really late move on Charles Leclerc here. It's probably a bit too aggressive, but I think he managed to avoid us just at the last second and didn't concede any damage. So that's good for us. We're moving up the grid relatively well. Obviously all these guys are on hard tyres, so they're going to be pretty easy to overtake, as Carlos Sainz, who started on the hard tyres, actually is coming to the pits now for what I believe will be a set of mediums. so he should be quite dangerous come the end of the race. He's going to have to gain about 20 seconds back on us. You see Lando comes into the pits now on the next lap, and now we're going to try and look for a move on Perez. Down the inside into turn 1. He turns across us, doesn't give us much space, but we give him a little shove wide, and he yields the position there. Luckily we didn't get any front wing damage from it, and now we've got a job of hunting down Vettel. And there's only 8 laps left of this Grand Prix once we cross the line. And here this is a crucial moment because Vettel's actually pulling on me quite a lot. Vettel gets held up behind the Williams of Nick de Vries, and he's lost about 2 tenths to us here. We're going to get DRS off the Williams, and Vettel isn't going to get DRS, so we're going to have to push here. This is going to be our fastest lap of the race, I believe. It's a personal best, and now we're under a second, so we're definitely not getting third from Hamilton. Now we've just got to try and attack Vettel. We're under a second, so we're going to get DRS. And on lap 33, we were saving fuel, saving ERS as much as we could, and now as you can see we're under half a second. We're really close behind him, and as we get very close to that braking zone there, we lock up into the corner. I'm going to try and stick behind him as long as possible. I don't know what ERS he is on, but if we get a chance to overtake him, I'm going to try and overtake him and run. And as we're coming onto the main straight here, we're going to pick up the DRS, and we're going to use a little bit of overtake, and we're going to go to the inside into turn 1 as a pretty simple move. Now this is the interesting thing. Vettel will overtake us twice now. He'll overtake us at the end of lap 34, we'll overtake him at the end of lap 35. He might get us on the last lap, but he's got to stay in a second for that to happen. As you can see, I'm going to push like crazy. Our tyres are going close to 60%, but as you can see, Vettel wasn't able to get past us, probably running low on ERS, and we managed to come home to secure an excellent 4th position from P13. I'm very happy with that result, making the more risky strategy work in terms of tyre wear, and we can continue our good run of consistent points finishes in the top 5.
See the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for the Sabres. At the top of the table now, let's discuss.
So overall, a pretty decent result. I'm very happy with that. As you can see, Valtteri Bottas gets first place and the fastest lap, so he's going to be continuing to extend his lead at the top of the standings. Us in 4th though, very happy with that result. As I said, Raikkonen actually DNF'd in that race. I'm not sure when that happened, so that's going to hamper us quite heavily in terms of the constructors. Not that I think he's in a decent position. He hasn't scored since I believe Bahrain. And as you can see, we got overtaken there by Red Bull in the standings. We're still holding on to second in the drivers, which is good. Myself and Vettel are level, well, he's 1 point ahead in terms of the rivalry. That was rivalry. It was also very crucial, that race, because we were battling our rival. So we're gonna, I believe we did gain an extra point over him for that race. So I'm happy with that. As you can see, just get a bit more acclaim. We just managed to get all of the gold bonuses for this weekend, so that's going to give us an extra $1 million to spend potentially on some facilities, maybe on saving for a really good drive in Season 3. And as you can see, we've got a sponsorship renewal here, and we are going to renew Satellite. We're just going to have a quick browse through what else there is though. But I believe the more times you re-sign with the sponsor, they give you more money per like per goal bonus that you achieve. So we'll try to stick with the ones we've got now for quite a while. Obviously, putting the activities on, looking at what upgrades we can do. We're going to do a front downforce and a rear downforce minor upgrade. It will come in time for Monaco, so which is the next race. And yeah, we're just going to have a look at what we're going to get. We get a weight reduction. Unfortunately, only one upgrade goes on the car in time for Monaco, so we're going to pause it here. We're going to quickly put that upgrade back on, and there we go. We've got our upgrades done for Monaco. It's getting to the point now where we've got to start thinking about whether we want to retain Raikkonen for the second half of the season. And I believe I'm going to do so. I mean, I know what I do, because I'm currently starting Season 3 now. But yeah, I don't think we won't re-sign with a different driver. Raikkonen's bringing in so many resource points for us. So we're going to keep him. So if you did enjoy this this whistle-stop tour of Zandvoort, because nothing much really happened, because this is a fantastic track for overtaking, please do leave a like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the Monaco Grand Prix, which will be round 5 of Season 2 very soon.